Hello everyone, my name is Zenitsu, and I'm back with Spoiler Sunday. So I guess this is a part 2. Part 1 was just all of the BT08 cards that we're getting, and now we have more information on the Theme Booster 2, or EX02, which is going to be called Digital Hazard, which is going to be released in Japan on December 24th. So they literally have a month of their set 8 before this comes into their meta. And this is looking like it's going to follow in the footsteps of Classic Collection 1, except it's going to be a little bit more focused on Digimon Tamers, or Season 3 of the anime. So what this is going to be is basically almost the same type of thing that was Classic Collection 1, and it's going to include 74 types of cards, 30 parallel arts that are probably going to be all retro or classic frame. It's going to have 26 commons, 20 uncommons, 18 rares, 8 SRs, and 2 secrets. So they actually upped the secret count from 1 to 2 this time around, and we do have a couple of cards to talk about from the set that's already making the set look pretty fun and pretty interesting. So we do have a couple of cards spoiled to talk about from the set, so let's just take a look at them. So first up, we have a new Guillemon. So this new Guillemon is a red level 3 rare card in the set, and it's doing nothing too special stat-wise, but it does have a native ability and an inheritable ability. So it's already looking to be pretty good just based off of that information alone. And what its native ability is doing is it's an on-play ability where we get to reveal the top 4 cards of our deck, add a card with Growlmon or Galantman in its name, and 1 Takato from among them into our hand, and then the rest go to the bottom. So this first part is just your stereotypical digging ability to try to find the parts and pieces that we're looking for, because, well, we're probably going to be getting a whole new Galantmon line and Growlmon line and Takato in the set, so it's only natural that this card wants to support those. And then on top of that, it also has a nice inheritable ability where it's a when attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has Growlmon or Galantmon in its name, then we get to delete one of the opponent's Digimon with a 3000 DP or less, just kind of supporting what Galantmon wants to do, which he is a Digimon based around removal. So the fact that Guillemon's inheritable ability is helping remove Digimon is never a bad thing, because removal is always good, and the Galantmon stuff of new and old is going to be wanting to use this card, just because it's a good support card for anything that Guillemon wants to be doing. So I think this is going to be a pretty good card to be playing around with as a whole. Next, we have a new version of Renamon. So this new version of Renamon is following in the very same footsteps that we saw with Guillemon. So this Renamon has basically the same stats, except it's a yellow Digimon, and she also has an on-play ability that's also looking for Cubimon, Taomon, Sakuyamon, and Rika. So she's, again, a stereotypical digger for those types of cards. And then on top of that, her inheritable ability, which triggers during your turn once per turn. When you use an option card with a memory cost to 2 or less, you get to gain 1 memory. So she's just making options a little bit more efficiently, which is kind of weird considering the old Sakuyamon and the old Renamon line wanted to interact with a debuff on the opponent's security Digimon. So I think that this means that we're going to see a new type of ability on the Renamon line in this set. Next up, we have a new version of Galantman. So this is going to be one of the SRs in the set. It's not a secret in the set, but it's still a very powerful card to be playing around with because, well, it's Galantman. It's just your stereotypical red level 6. Stats aren't doing anything too special, but he does have lots of abilities. He's got 3, actually. His first ability is this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP, so he's actually just going to be swinging for 14,000 during your turn, which is pretty good. DP boosting himself is never a bad thing, ensuring that he's going to live through security or just live through lots of battles. And then on top of that, during your turn, while you have a red tamer in play, then the maximum DP of your effects that delete Digimon is increased by 2000. So basically, it's just allowing you to extend what he can delete, which is, again, really good because removal is always good. And then on top of that, he has a when attacking ability where you get to choose any number of your opponent's Digimon with a total DP of 6,000 or less and delete all of them. So this just is another really good removal ability that pairs up with his first ability, so you could extend that to 8,000 DP or less. So you could delete multiple different targets that are small or one big target with this ability, and pair this up with some of the other cards that might be coming in the set, and the Galantman type cards that we already have, and this could be a pretty decent card to be playing around with. Next, we have a new version of Terramon. So again, no shocker here that the main cast of Tamers is going to get their Digimon here, and what this Terramon is doing is a little bit differently than the other two, because I believe we already got something similar to the Terramon Digger in the previous set. So what this card is doing is it has a nice ability native to it, where during your turn, once per turn, when you play a green tamer, you get to gain 1 memory. So it's just allowing your tamers to be even more efficient to want to play, which is never a bad thing. And then it has a nice inheritable ability, where during your turn, once per turn, when your opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, then this Digimon gains plus 2000 DP for the turn, which is really good because the Mega Gargamon that we already have really wants to interact with this to just DP boost itself even more, ensuring that when it gets Security Attack Plus for the opponent's Digimon being suspended, then we're going to be able to utilize it to its utmost potential, ensuring that it has the highest chance we can give it of succeeding those security checks. So I do think Terramon is going to be a pretty good card for not only just the Mega Gargamon we already have, but the one we're going to be getting most likely in the set as another SR. Next up, we have a new red option card in the form of Attack Plugin A. So this is a 2-costed option card, and it has the nice ability where if you have a tamer in play, you could use this option card without meeting its color requirements. So it's just a really generic option card because a lot of decks run tamers. So that's already looking to make this card very, very strong, especially since its main ability allows one of your Digimon to gain Security Attack +1 for the turn. So this is really huge because this, I guess, is kind of a color pie break, where it's like it's allowing other colors to actually utilize this card as long as they have tamers in play, and Security Attack +1 in certain color combinations and in certain decks could be very, very brutal and devastating for the opponent to deal with, just because they might not be expecting that Digimon to be dealing that extra damage, especially paired up with like multi-attacking or various ways that they could already have to gain Security Attack +1. This could just enhance it even further. So it's a pretty solid card to be using for 2 memory, especially in something like yellow, where we already see with the Renamon that we can already use this card to gain 1 memory back, so it's only going to be costing 1, and yellow doesn't have a whole lot of instances of Security Attack Plus, so that's just a quick example of what this card can do. And then on top of that, it has a nice security ability where we get to reveal the top 3 cards of our deck and add 1 tamer card from among them into our hand, and the rest go to the bottom, then add this card into our hand. So this is just allowing us to dig for our tamers, so that way we could play our tamers to then be able to play this card. So I do think this is going to be a really fun and interesting card to be playing around with. And then the last card that we got spoiled is going to be Dreaper. So Dreaper is, well, a completely different card than anything we've seen in Digimon before, making it just a very exciting prospect to think about all of the new possibilities a type of card like this actually adds. So just because this card is actually more of a digital life form rather than a Digimon means that we can have various other digital life forms in the game as Digimon. So there is actually hope for Aptly monsters and various other digital life forms that Digimon has faced in the past in various different shows and games. So I'm really excited to see what the future holds because of this card, but this card is also really interesting because it seems like it wants to form a Dreaper type deck. So what this card is doing more specifically is when playing this Digimon card, you get to trash the bottom 7 Digivolution cards off of your Mother Dreaper to be able to play this card for 0. So it seems like Mother Dreaper is going to be the big card that's going to allow you to play cards like this, and this focal and center point of a Dreaper based deck. And this is a really good card to want to hard play because, well, it has 15,000 DP with the Rush ability, so that way you could swing right away with it. And then it also has a end of attack ability where you get to put 2 searchers from your trash at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution source in order to unsuspend this Digimon. So you could use some really good support cards paired up with this to allow this card to multi-attack, again, with the Rush ability that you played for free off of your Mother Dreaper. so we don't know what any of the other cards are going to be doing more specifically, but I'm really excited to see what this type of a deck is going to hold, because I think it's going to be a really fun and interesting and different deck than anything we've played in Digimon before, considering this also doesn't have a level and it doesn't have any Digivolution requirements. So it's just something completely different, and I'm excited to see what the future holds because of it. So that's all I really have for this video. As always, feel free to tell me your thoughts down in the comments below, and down in the description below are a couple of different ways you could support me and the channel. So I do have a TCG Player affiliate link, so when you use that link to buy cards off of TCG Player, then some of that money will go to supporting me and the channel. I also do make and sell playmats over on Overcard Gamers on Facebook, so when you buy a playmat with my design, then some of that money will also go to help supporting me and the channel. And on top of all of that, I do have a Twitch account over on twitch.tv/Zenitsu, so giving me a follow and a subscription also helps support me there, and I do play Digimon on top of various other games on that platform as well. So thank you everyone for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video.